Also, shout out to, I think, some of mGG Alpha's friends are watching who aren't totally well versed in StarCraft 2. Thank you guys for tuning in, if you are there. I'm not sure, Alpha, are your friends watching? But either way, hopefully not too much of this is going over your head, you know, if you're not too familiar with all the terms and that kind of thing. If anyone has any questions, of course, even if you're just a bronze player, a silver player, or anything up to GM, of course, we've got some of the GM players in the chat there, and you want to ask a question, there are lots of players in the chat there who can help you out, so please feel free to ask a question. What we'll do is we'll go into game number 4. It is going to be a PvZ. Some of you guys called it correct. Alright, there you go. Shout out to Moonbee's girlfriend. Hello. Hope you're having fun watching. What's a mule? Well, it's this thing. It's this thing that you use if you're a Terran player and you SCV Marine all in, and your SCV Marine all in fails, and you're like, well, I've got to get back into this game, even though I just lost all my SCVs. You put down a mule. That's my description. Anyway, enough Terran and Protoss bias from me. We've got our players here in game number 4. Of course, the situation is 2-1 with mGG up. Going to try and bring that back here down in the bottom right-hand side of Shakura's Plateau. I'm a bit surprised to see. It is FaDe's Manly. And he's manly. Maybe I should put on some Barry White. He's just going to go up for that Forge Fast Expand, I would assume. And his opponent, the Blue Zerg player, who did a fantastic job in the previous game in that crazy little knife fight with Jagger Zerg. He didn't get too much jagging going on there. It is mGG's Chase. So, Shakura's. Let's talk about stuff here. This map has some interesting ways to play. I'm going to go from the Protoss side firstly, and then we'll talk about Zerg in a second. Of course, you can do the standard sort of things with your. That's actually exactly what the power radius of a pylon looks like, guys. Just in case you were wondering, like, you know, because for some reason Blizzard decided that when you're an observer and you click on a pylon, you can't actually see the power radius anymore after patch 1.5.2. You know, I have to draw it myself, so it looks roughly like that. About like that. That's what it looks like. Of course, you can do the standard sort of forge wall off. Interesting thing, which I see Liquid Hero used to do quite a lot, of course, until this map was has sort of disappeared from tournament play and all these kinds of things, was the Blink Stalker roam across the side of the map. You can use this as a bridge, just go across, do some damage inside your opponent's main base, and that can be quite something that can catch a lot of Zergs out. You can, of course, then go to standard sort of play, Colossus and, you know, the odd Mothership and a few Stalkers, maybe some Archons thrown in just for the fun part of it. But Chase is going to start out with a slightly earlier pull there. He did cancel an Extractor and get some Lings out. We got 4 on the way, so it's not a huge amount. He has, of course, delayed his expansion for the time being, and, of course, Manly is going to be able to have a say in that going down as well. Just very safe play from Chase here, gets rid of the probe, and is going to be easily able to put that hatchery down. So, as we said, very safe stuff from him. Does force the cannon to go down as well before a gateway. So, of course, Manly just a tiny bit behind of where he would actually probably rather be with his gateway, and of course his Cybernetics core not too far after that. So, either way, nothing too out of the ordinary going on here. Of course, this is kind of the thing you would always expect in a Zerg versus Protoss on this map, is that Zerg just grabbing the watchtowers in the middle, getting a good field of vision across the center section of the map just here, and then also in towards these side parts as well. Just, of course, helps out with any proxy pylons, finding those, finding any probes that are moving across the map. It's always good to know where those are going. But as we can see, Manly going to grab his 1 and 2 gas. Chase is continuing on with the standard Zerg style, picking up the 3rd base, and is going to be able to. He's just continuing to scout around with his Zerglings as well. I like that patrol path. That's pretty cool. Wait, has he gone? Hey, that's pretty cool, man. He's patrolling around this sort of huge area. That's really nice. But Manly gonna get his Cybernetics core go down. The probe's gonna try and have a quick look across the map. If he can get across to the 3rd, just spot that this is happening, then he will be satisfied in his situation right now. Won't need to try and transition into anything crazy. Chase, of course, still getting his drones going. He's up to 22 at the moment. A couple more just about to pop out as well. Of course, 2 queens are already out, doing their injects and keeping up appearances for the time being. But yeah, I'm sort of expecting, like, just on the timings here, I don't expect there to be an Immortal Sentry all-in on this map. While in some respects you've got very sort of thin pathways through various parts of the map. Like if you sort of come through here, you can get these very sort of thin pathways, and if you use the walls correctly, I could guess that yeah, you might be able to get it done quite nicely. But to be honest, considering that that's a little bit more of a sort of a late 2012 sort of innovation, I don't particularly think we'll be seeing it. But he may go for a just your average sort of Immortal Sentry based expand. He's going to pick up gas 3 and 4 there down at the natural as well. The Robo is also, of course, on the way. Does have another Sentry on the way as well, which is interesting to see. But here we go, Chase just going to have a quick look in. It's around about the 7-minute mark, which is what that time, sort of between the 7 and the 8:30 is when you want to be sort of looking around to see what's going on for your Protoss opponent. Chase still continuing to get the queens out. We're going to be up to a total of, I think that's going to be 4, is that 5 queens? I'm not particularly sure, but either way, still no sign of a Roach Warren just as of yet from him. He's just droning up so hard. That's pretty interesting to see. He's going to be up to 50 drones in a moment, just when these last few hatch out of their eggs. But yeah, we're still at this stage of PvZ where it's kind of not exactly a thing you can call. But hang on, as we can see, Immortal gets started for Manly, so he may actually be going for that build. We got a couple of extra gateways inside the main. He has stopped his probe production for the moment, so it looks like he will be saving up for a couple more gates, I would assume. And yep, there they are. There's one. Maybe even a third and a fourth here inside the main. Oh, yep, they're in different positions. So it is going to be that Sentry Immortal base play, which we have seen, of course, if you've been watching. You know, GSL, the Blizzard World Cup just recently, of course. In fact, that is actually on right now. We could be missing it, but that is okay, because we're allowed to miss it, because we're watching CPVZ. So he is definitely going to go for that. The third Immortal on the way, of course. +1 is being researched right now. Chase is going to need to get some tech started, and he does have his Roach Warren. The lair is on the way. +1 to weapons is also being researched for those roaches, and Ling speed is also being researched right now. Does he actually know what's going? Well, he does know the Robo's there. I don't think he saw a count on the Immortals just yet, but there is the Immortal, the Warp Prism going to follow up just behind that as well. More sentries being built, so we got a total of 8 sentries. 9 sentries right, 8 sentries right now for Chase, for Manly, I should say. And so he is going to move out now. Looks like a couple of Lings are going to find out exactly what is going on. The jig is up. Manly gets started with that push. There he goes. He's getting started right now. The Warp Prism is on the way. We'll have to see which particular path he's going to go for. It looks like he's actually going to head cross-map to the third base. You know, I'm not exactly sure how I feel about going for the third on this map instead of just going straight for the natural, but either way, Chase has got a lot of roaches out already. He's got a grand total of 14. There are 22 Lings about to pop out as well. Their speed is done. Roach speed is also on the way, and here we go. Chase is going to have to be very careful with his positioning. Of course, if he lets this up the ramp, there is no way he's going to be able to deflect it. Force field's going down. Here comes that Warp Prism to grab some more units and bring them in. Going to warp in some more sentries, then some zealots as well. Not too many stalkers there. I'm okay with that decision for the moment. Of course, if you've got quite a lot of those sentries available, then you can protect your position for days, and it looks like he is going to be able to do that. This third base is effectively dead. Consider that a dead hatchery, not walking, because now that it's going to go down, quick smart, zealots, immortals, sentries, now stalkers going to be in the mix here for Manly, and it looks like Chase is going to try and counter-attack. He's got a lot of Lings across his at his opponent's base, but it looks like the attack will still continue here. Chase has got a couple of spies just completely out of position in the middle of the map. Perhaps he was wanting to defend in the middle, but it's not going to happen. More roaches being built up by Chase here. He's doing one of the, what I understand is a correct response, which is to build 7,000 spine crawlers inside your natural, but perhaps a little bit too late, and I think it certainly will be, because Manly is up the ramp. Zealots are in the face of the Stalkers and the Spine Crawlers. So much damage being done. Back to the natural for Manly. He's going to lose the pylon and most of the wall that was there. No supporting sentries to wall off there. So he is going to lose most of his natural, if not the entire natural. But The question is, at what cost? Will Manly be able to reinforce his units here? I think the Warp Prism is dead because there's no Warp Prism here inside the natural base. Force Field goes down on the natural ramp as well to protect that, and Manly is actually defending quite nicely. Just a couple of Stalkers, a couple of Force Fields available there as well, and an Immortal now pops out. That is going to be the end of Chase. He has no way to fend this off now. He's going to walk up this ramp, and Manly is just going to have his way in a manly fashion with the rest of Chase's. There's that Warp Prism. Where did you go, my friend? But here come the drones, and that's a surefire sign that you are about to lose in your ZVP match, because the Immortal Sentry push is on the way and it has got soul. So Manly doing a fantastic job there, wins the game very convincingly. Nice attempt by Chase to get that run by going to try and make his opponent, you know, sort of have that decision of, do I go back or do I stay here and you know, continue on with the push. Of course, Manly doing really well with the Immortals stayed alive for the majority of that. I'm pretty sure they stayed alive the entire time, or maybe one went down. But really nicely done, and we will see. Of course, that means that FaDe is going to even it up to a situation of 2-2. That's a score right now.